Welcome to House of Bob presents Chariot of the Bobs, an alien RPG adventure written by Free League Press.
Hi, I'm Shubert. I'll be playing Leah Davis, the ship's thrill-seeking pilot.
I'm Cristina, and I'm playing Cham, your friendly, intergalactic roughneck.
I'm Alex, and I'll be playing Wilson, a shrewd Weyland-Yutani company agent.
I'm Shaun, and I'll be your GM, your game mother for this series. Last time on House of Bob's actual play of alien RPG Chariot of the Gods, the crew of the Montero, Davis, played by Shubert, Wilson, played by Alex, Cham, played by Cristina, and the NPCs Rye and their Captain Miller have found the derelict ship Cronus floating in deep space. Under direction from their company protocols and their ship's mother unit, they enter the Cronus in order to rescue any survivors on board, or salvage whatever goods they can. They find signs of violence on board, and as they explore, tensions rise and trust between the crew is in short supply. Things seem to come to a head as they find what is left of the surviving Cronus crew, just 5 people: XO Johns, Security Officer Reed, the medic Dr. Flynn, Company Agent Lori Clayton, and the ship's scientist, a man named Professor Daniel Cooper. Cooper complains of headaches upon waking from cryosleep, but before much else can happen, his head explodes as a vicious alien creature rips his way out of his skull. The creature has escaped into the hulls of the ship, and the combined crews, the Montero and the Cronus, have little time to react before the Montero makes a startling announcement. Its reactor is going critical. And for the second time in a matter of hours, the self-destruct sequence has been initiated. Via Cham's quick work and amazing bravery, the Montero is decoupled from the Cronus and sent on autopilot away from the derelict ship. The Montero's reactor then goes critical and explodes, leaving both crews stranded on the crippled Cronus. Wanted to give a little bit of an update on some story mechanics or game mechanics that are kind of happening behind the scenes. Each of the players have personal agendas that have been given to them secretly. They don't know what each other's agendas are. And as part of cinematic play, if you feel as though at the end of Act 1, which we just completed, we're starting Act 2. At the end of an act, if you feel like you completed that act's agenda, you get a story point. Just give me a yep or a nay if you feel like you got a story point.
Big yep.
Nay.
I feel like I never really got a chance because the situation wasn't boring.
That's fair. If you didn't get it, you didn't get it. That's all right.
All right.
A story point is something to use during the next portion of this scenario. In a cinematic scenario, you can spend a story point to get 1 automatic success in a dice roll. You can spend it after you fail, or even after a success in order to get an extra success.
Cool.
And the only way to get more of them is to complete your agendas.
So we only get to use each point once, and then we have to fulfill our agenda for the next act to get a point to use in Act 3.
Right. That is correct.
Does it carry over if we don't use it? Can I save my point for next?
It does say that if you have the same players and they have a story point from a previous cinematic campaign, it does roll over if they don't consume it.
Wow. Okay. So not even just between acts, but between campaigns.
Yeah. So if you're banking on playing Alien with me again.
I fucking hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too. So far, so good. So I've sent out new agendas for Act 2, which are now your modus operandi going forward. There will be 3 acts. When the third one starts, only I know. Let's recap for the audience. Where are you all sitting at health and stress?
Davis is sitting at a whopping 7 for stress.
Oof.
And I'm at full health. I never got injured. What else? Oh, and I'm down 1 oxygen. And I'm also down a pistol that I had and lost.
Yes, you set down your pistol and it is gone. Where could it be? And what about Wilson?
Wilson has 3 stress, so he's a little stressed out, but he's keeping it together. Surprising, given how fucked up the situation is. I either have 2 health or a whole ton, so I'm pretty sure I have 2.
Isn't that your max?
Then I must have 2. I just have, I have like so many X's. For some reason, I filled all of these in with X's, but then I also filled the stress points I have in with X's. So it was like, oh, am I missing 2 health or do I only have 2 health? I only have 2 health.
2 is your max.
Yeah, otherwise I'm doing okay. I still have my bolt gun. I don't really know what it does other than bolt things. I have my compression suit, and it's full of air right now.
Oh, yeah. Watasumi DV-303 bolt gun is a 3 damage short range weapon with armor piercing and the single shot trait.
Okay, so if I'm going to use it, like, I better be sure about it.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Okay. Cham, tell us about your situation, Cham.
My situation? Oh, well, like you say, I did just shoot off the ship and I'm spacewalking with 5 health, only 3 air.
Whoa, that's a lot of health.
And 4 stress. And I'm
Right.
sure spacewalking is not stressful and I'm doing just fine.
Yeah, I can't imagine your stress going up in this situation at all.
Now, one thing I did want to bring up is that last session, Cristina did use to have like a little role-playing moment that referenced a rule that we didn't really talk about, which is your special items.
Yes.
So everybody has some sort of special item on their character sheet. Cham's is his rosary. And Cristina, even last session, had a little scene where Cham like pulled out his rosary and considered it and thought about it. And that actually should have allowed you to clear stress.
Yes.
You didn't roll a panic on that stress die that you did just after that. So no harm, no foul. But if we want, I feel like it's fair. You're entering into another dangerous situation here. And everybody else is going to have the chance to clear stress while they're waiting for you. So if you role play a scene where your special item is involved, you clear stress. And so retroactively, Cham has cleared his stress.
A single one.
Like all of it.
Whoa.
Oh, all of it.
That's cool.
Yes.
I think I did clear one when we did it, but I thought it was only the single.
Yeah. So it's all your stress, gonzos. If you feel like I'm being too lenient with you and you want to keep a stress on there because it was whatever afterwards, that's cool too. Up to you.
Yeah, I'll just keep one because I think that makes sense.
Okay. So where we're sitting right now is Cham standing just inside the ruptured airlock on the dorsal side of the Cronus, watching the Montero explode in distant space. You know that if you were to try and enter through the other airlock door here, which is locked down because you've created a vacuum, if you're trying to enter through here right now without that umbilical cord connected and the vacuum of space isolated away, you know that you're just going to start venting more atmosphere from the ship out.
Yeah.
Like you could plasma torch your way through this door, but you're just going to have to keep doing that until you find some way to lock yourself into the atmosphere.
Yeah.
You're thinking about the schematics of the ship probably, and you know that there's 2 other options. One is the cargo bay door, which would be basically this huge gantry that come down and is big enough for vehicles to roll in and out. Or there is a ventral airlock on the bottom side of the ship that normally would be used as an elevator for people to leave the ship down to the planet's surface.
Okay. I think I'm going to go with that one. The elevator attachment, as it were.
All right. So thinking about that, other things I want to point out is all the crew of the Montero, your radio comm headsets have gone dead. And it's obvious to you that this is because the Montero is no longer around to act as an antenna for you. So we've got Cham somewhere. We've got Wilson, Rye, Miller, and Davis in the command bridge of the Cronus with 4 other people and a dead body.
And it's the dead body that the fucking alien popped out of.
Yeah, that the alien burst out of his skull. All right, so the opening credits have rolled. The GM has discussed all the pertinent news with the players, and we open on the bridge of the Cronus. Through the front viewport, we can see the dust of Montero spreading through the vacuum of space. The 8 of you in here, 7 of you, all stand in the bridge looking at each other. Wilson and Davis and Miller and Rye still in their spacesuits. And these other 4 Exo Johns, Albert Johns, mid-40s, Latino guy, looks quite nervous. Valerie Reed, former Colonial Marine, 4'11", black and furious, ready to go with her like shotgun strapped to her side. Dr. Flynn, the medic, and Lori Clayton, the company agent. What do you guys do? What do you say?
I was just going to ask, Shaun, if you could remind us how much time has passed since the alien fucking burst out of this extra person who's on the floor?
Maybe 15 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not great. Davis, at this point, she's up to 7 stress. And so she's visibly shaking and hyperventilating and sweating a lot. And she just looks white as a ghost. Oh my God. Oh my God. We're all gonna die. We're all just gonna die. I think at that point she looks around, and is there like a bathroom here?
On the bridge? No.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You know that the closest one would be a couple halls aft of you in the living areas.
I need to get out of here. I need to find a bathroom. Yeah, I need to find the washroom. Yeah. Okay. Bye.
And we're all like locked down inside the bridge, right? Like for our safety.
Cham did run out, so there was that. You can see the crew of the Cronus starting to get their bearings after the shock of seeing a potential rescue avenue explode out in the dark of space. And as Davis starts to shuffle out of the room, Miller turns to Wilson.
Yeah.
Captain says, "You're the company agent here. What's our next move? What's our protocol here?"
I mean, protocol is going to be to figure out how this happened. So tell us everything that you know. How did your crewmate end up with an alien inside their brain? And maybe we'll work backwards and figure out how to get everybody home safe. That's the objective now. Get everybody home safe and get this ship back with us inside him.
Johns steps forward, the second officer of the Cronus, before something happened to their captain. "What I can tell you is that we landed on LV-1113 and we are exploring these ancient ruins." And then Laurie Clayton interrupts him and says, "It was an archaeological mission. We are out there attempting to study and learn important information about extraterrestrial life forms, ancient civilizations. That's about as much as you need to know."
Wilson gives her a bit of a funny look and says, "I'm the company agent. So if there's something you're keeping from me, then we're probably going to have an issue here. I can't help you unless I know everything that's going on."
"And I'm the company agent of the Cronus. This mission was my purview and I'm in charge."
Wilson suggests that perhaps the best thing to do right now, the scientist is still on the bridge with us, right?
You, Miller, Rye, and the other 4 of the crew are there.
Okay. Wilson suggests to the scientist that maybe we should see if the body of their crewmate has any information that can help us figure out what to do about this terrible monster that's on board. Is there any analysis that we can do to learn more about this? Because we need to know what we're up against.
The doctor steps forward. "My name's Dr. Flynn.
Hi, Flynn.
Look, this is all that I have that I can tell you right now is that he did not take the inoculation," and he holds up the syringe that he had fished out of Dr. Cooper's pocket last episode.
Okay.
"All of us were inoculated. We took the vaccine. He, for some reason, didn't take it. And I think it stands to reason that that's why he was infected, why this thing was able to grow inside of him."
Did you develop the vaccine on board or did you bring it with you for the mission?
It was developed using material from LV-1113.
Developed here on board, or did someone else
in our
develop
science
it first?
module.
Okay, gotcha. What materials did you use to develop it?
Well, that's kind of proprietary information. You take a look around the room and you can tell that Laurie Clayton has this look on her face. She's staring daggers at Flynn right now. You're pretty good at reading people.
Yeah.
You can tell that she's like, do not utter another word with her eyes. Whereas Johns is completely confused and Reed looks like she wants more too.
Reed is the Marine. She's the one with the shotgun.
Yeah.
The big guns. And Johns is the second officer, now effectively the captain.
Right.
Okay. I can tell that Reeds wants some more information about this too. So I just ask her, is something you want to add?
Look, my job is to keep everybody here safe, and I want to make sure that we all get out of here alive. If you know something and you're hiding it from the rest of us, I want to know it now.
I agree. I would also like to know if there's something that's being hidden from everybody in this space, because it seems like there's something big going on here that not all of us know about.
Do you have a skill you want to roll, Alex?
Is that empathy, manipulation, maybe?
Sure.
Okay. I have a 1 on my stress die. I also have a 6 on my stress die. And then I have 1, 2, 3 other 6s. So I think that's 4 successes and a complication.
Okay. We're going to deal with your panic first.
Okay.
It is a stressful situation. You're trying to exert your manipulation over a whole bunch of people under a really tough situation right now.
I don't even fucking know these people yet.
So I need you to roll a d6 and add your current stress level.
4.
Okay. You're managing to keep it together. You managed to keep your nerves in check.
Okay.
For manipulation, extra successes can be spent on the following stunts. Your opponent does what you want without demanding a favor in return.
Mm-hmm.
Your opponent does more than you asked for.
Mm-hmm.
For example, giving you a piece of useful information. Or your opponent is impressed by you and will try to help you later on in some way.
And I can pick one of these.
One of these for each success over the first.
So if I had 4 successes, then I get them all.
What a lucky moment.
I'd like them all, please.
One of each.
One of each,
Waiter.
Mr. GM.
Okay. Lori sees that you've got a certain level of authority here. She realizes that maybe she could work with you here on getting this working.
Yeah. One of us is a company agent who hasn't been in cryo sleep for a decade and maybe knows a couple things.
Right.
A decade?
I don't know.
Have we been in for a decade? Because they've been in cryo sleep for 70 years.
They've been in
70,
cryo for
7 decades. So, come on, old timer.
She sees this. She recognizes it. She starts to crack. And she nudges Johns and says, he's right. If we're going to get out of here, we're going to have to be honest with him. Johns nods. Says, all right, well, something I know is when you found this material originally, this black ooze in these urns, we also found these nodes, these egg sacs around them. The egg sacs, we think they disperse a spore that causes the infection. And Dr. Flynn says, right, and we use some of the material in order to develop the inoculation. We believe that it's effective. The 4 of us have taken it, and Dr. Cooper didn't. So we think we're okay.
Right. How many doses of the inoculation do you have left? Just the one that the doctor didn't take?
We have this one, which, I mean, one of you could take right now.
I'll take it.
And there's more in the med lab.
Okay, I'm going to take it.
Okay.
I assume that might be my something extra that I get.
Sure.
Okay.
Right. You got it.
Great.
He holds out the syringe. He says, we'll just have to get you to take off your suit.
None of them have their suits on, right?
Well, they were in cryosleep, so no.
Right. Okay. So it seems like it's low risk for me to take the suit off. At least, their eyeballs aren't getting sucked out of their skulls. My eyeballs probably won't get sucked out of my skull.
You pull your helmet off and you begin to unzip and roll down a sleeve so that he can give you this injection. And immediately you notice that you're having a hard time taking deep breaths in this open air.
Oh, no.
It's got like a stale sort of quality and a heavy sort of quality to it. And you notice now, too, that the rest of them, without any spacesuits or
probably why they're
air
groggy
recyclers on, are having a little bit of trouble breathing.
Right.
You think that this could be related to the life support systems on the ship.
Right. Are they going to administer the inoculation to me, or can I do it myself?
He holds the syringe out to you.
Okay. I just take it from him.
Okay.
And I give it to myself.
Jam it in your arm and plug it in?
Yeah. Probably a good 80% of it. And then I'm short of breath and decide that's enough and I'm going to get my suit back on. And I can't hold my breath any longer.
Okay. You zip back up and you put your helmet back on.
Okay.
I'll get you to roll an air supply.
Okay, cool. I do have a 1. So now I'm down to 4 air.
All right.
And sorry, there's a third thing that I get. What was my third thing? Oh, they'll help me with something later.
Yeah.
All right.
At this point, we change views and we see Davis walking through the dimly lit halls of the Cronus towards the aft side of the ship. Leaving the bridge, you pass a vestibule on the side labeled Armory. You guys remember coming by this when you were coming in. You go through another door. You enter a hallway with a sign for the corporate suite. And lying on the ground opposite the corporate suite door is the dead body that Cham initially found here. Cham and Rye initially found. You can see the seams on its suit are stretched to the point of ripping. You can see the head basically completely blown off by the shotgun blast. I think Rye took that shotgun.
I have the shotgun.
Oh, Cham has a shotgun. And you see another door up ahead of you, Davis, with a sign over top that says living area. What are you thinking? How are you doing?
I think Davis is just in sort of a bit of a panic right now, and she's running through the ship to find a washroom, and I guess also scope out the rest of the ship and see what else is here. So I think she sees the body and it confirms what Cham said, and just looks wide-eyed and just keeps running down the hall towards the living area.
You press the button to open the door into the living area, and it opens up. You step forward, and you're into another wider hall. You can see it extends to the left and right of you, as well as in front of you. And there are pod doors throughout the hall for various living spaces. You think about the schematics you've seen. Probably the captain's chambers are going to be to the right of you. And then there are 3 more pods that would be shared amongst the crew members. 2 to your left and 1 to the right of you. You also see doors for elevators at the end of each end of this hallway.
Is there like a restroom?
You know that each of the quarters would have lavatories in them.
Oh, wow. Their own personal lavatory.
Swanky.
I think Davis is just going to, like, she knows this is other people's living areas. She wants like a place she can kind of get a little bit of privacy for a second, but she doesn't want to barge into someone else's dorm necessarily. I think she's just going to continue down the hallway.
Okay.
And try to find like a med lab.
Well, conveniently enough, you pass these rooms and you see in front of you a door that says science lab and med lab above it.
All right. So yeah, she's just going to open the door to the med lab.
This one door opens to another short hallway. On the right, you see a door with a big red cross on it. And ahead of you, you see another door with the sign that says science lab.
Right. Am I in the med lab now, or am I still...
Just left the living areas. Now you're in the hallway just outside the med lab and the science lab.
Okay. I head on into the med lab.
You see a fairly well put together med lab.
Good.
With some strange things in it.
Uh-oh.
This med lab is actually 2 smaller rooms. The first room is like an office and examination room. And then the back room, you can see that is where the Pauling med pods would be, which are kind of like the cryopods. They have like a plexiglass tube that sit over top of them.
Right.
So you can kind of just make them out through the door. But the room that you're in now has an office desk, an examination table, a shelf with a number of specimen jars on it, one of which is particularly draws your eye. It's got this specimen jar without any liquid in it. And sitting at the bottom of it are these strange fungal nodes, like spheres, kind of grayish and greenish in color. And beside that is an open metallic urn with 4 glass vials in it.
Very weird. All right. I think Davis definitely notices all these things, but she's still in panic, and she's looking around for a specific medication. She has, I think, 1 pill left in her pill bottle of Weyland-Yutani prescription drugs that help her calm down in tense situations. But she's looking around for more. She knows she's going to need them.
Yeah, you're scrabbling around the office area, an examination area, and you don't see anything in here. You even do find a med kit underneath the desk, just lying on the ground. You pull that open, and it's got 6 syringes in it, filled with a kind of gray-black liquid. But you don't see any other meds in here. You do still see that second room that has the med pods in it, though.
Do the syringes look like, is it the same liquid that I saw earlier? Because the guy showed me the syringe that the one guy didn't take.
Yeah, they do look very similar.
Okay. I'm just going to grab the med kit.
Okay.
If I can, just pick that up. All right, so I don't see any of the drugs that I'm looking for in here.
Not in this room, but maybe in the second one with the med pods.
Right. Okay.
You know, that treatment typically would happen in there, so maybe that's where they have them.
All right. I'm still in a bit of a panic to find these, so I'm going straight into there.
All right, you step in and you see 2 older generation Pauling med pods, one of which has its plexiglass splintered and shattered, pieces of it lying all over the floor around it. The second one is lit from within, but the interior surface of the tube is covered in these thick smears of dried blood. You see another row of specimen jars, 2 of which have small alien creatures that look just like the thing that burst from Cooper's skull.
Oh, God.
And we're going to go to Cham.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Davis, before I move on, because I don't want to forget, can you give me an air supply roll?
I think I'm good. No ones.
Okay. All right, Cham.
Yes.
You're standing there in the forward junction A on the dorsal side of the Cronus.
Mm-hmm.
You are looking at open space ahead of you. There's an intercom on the wall if you want to use it. But what are you doing?
How would I use an intercom with a spacesuit on?
I don't know. It's there.
I'm just wondering how that's possible. No, I think we looked at the schematics of the ship before, like you say. So I'm just going to start heading over towards the belly of the ship, as it were, to get to that elevator station.
All right. So you begin to crawl along the exterior of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that's a mobility roll.
I got a 1 on my stress die, but I did get a 6 on my other dice.
Okay, so a success, but what's your current stress level?
Just 1 right now.
Okay, and did you get a nervous twitch last time? I can't remember.
That was Davis.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a d6 and add your stress level.
I got a 1 plus 1.
All right, keeping it together so far. You begin to crawl along the outside of the Cronus, and the silence is deafening because your radio is just putting out static. You turn that off because it's just so annoying in your ears.
Mm-hmm.
Even the sound of your hands clunking against the ship can't be heard because the vacuum won't carry anything. Just deafening. And as you crawl along, the ship is still in rotation. So, you know, it comes into the light side, comes into the dark side, the star field all around you. Probably pretty disconcerting. I'm going to get you to roll an observation check.
Okay. Uh-oh. I got 2 1s with those extra 2 dice.
2 1s.
But no stress.
No stress, no successes?
No stress, no successes.
Okay. Cham is crawling along the outside of the ship, and you don't notice as something creeps up on you.
Uh-oh.
You round a corner, pulling yourself around the outside of the ship, when a creature clutching to the side, a spacesuit hand, attempts to grab for you. This is a freakish human in a spacesuit. Its arms extended and stretched, its head stretched back in this like beluga whale sort of shape with distended sacs off the side of its head. It screams soundlessly at you. Draw initiative. So roll a d10 for me.
4.
Okay. I get to go first.
Uh-oh.
First thing it does, the creature scrambles over to you, pulling itself along the side of the ship, grabs onto your arm, and then rips up and rips back down, attempting to slam you into the side of the ship. That is 1 success. So it would be 1 point of damage. Now, you have a spacesuit on, which does give you, I think, armor 2.
So I don't take any damage.
You actually roll 2d6s, and every success cancels damage.
Okay. No successes. So I still take the damage then.
You do. Taking 1 point of damage. And it says here, the victim lands prone at short range for the abomination, drops any handheld items, and must make an immediate panic roll. Oh, and you take a stress because you just saw this freaky creature attack you.
Oh, what? No, that's totally normal. Yes. Okay.
So roll a d6 and add your stress.
Oof. I got a 6 now, +2, so 8.
8. Okay, so that is a nervous twitch. Stress goes up by 1. And we're going to say that right now you are rolling and bouncing kind of along the side of the ship, attempting to grab it back on.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything special that would help you with this? Any tools or anything like that?
I did still have my grappling hook. I don't think I was holding on to it anymore. I can see that I lost the gun for sure, because I think I was walking around with it.
Well, I think you said last session that you used the grappling gun in order to help you pull yourself across. So assuming that you reeled it back in, maybe you have it on your belt or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think that makes sense. I would have tried to keep it.
Okay.
Especially for the spacewalking. Yeah, so I'll try to shoot it just anywhere, wherever it looks like there might be a protruding lump of metal at this point.
You see an antenna array as you're floating past it. Go ahead and make a ranged combat. So that's ranged combat plus your agility.
Okay, no failures, no success. So I'm going to push it. Okay, I got 1 success, 1 failure. Nothing on my stress die, though.
So with the success, you manage to, your grappling hook latches onto the comms array, and you are pulled to a sudden jolting stop as the cord plays out its slack. It is now the creature's second turn this round. It's going to crawl towards you, and it grabs onto the cord of the grapple and begins pulling you in towards it. And at the end of its turn, it has you about a meter outside of its reach, still attempting to spool you in.
Right.
Second round, it's going to go, and that is a fist strike. Pull you the rest of the way in, and then attempt to just punch you. That's 2 successes for 2 points of damage, and you can roll your armor.
This spacesuit is a piece of junk. So I'm at 2 health now.
Okay, it's your turn.
So I think what I'm going to try to do, I guess maybe describe to me how the arms work on this creature. Do they seem like slinky-like, or do they actually seem like controlled?
Yeah, so they're not like rubber tentacle arms. They're just longer, as if the bones within the arm have rapidly grown and extended its reach.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to try then to use the momentum of him punching me with that one arm, and I'm going to grab it and then try to, since we're at the antenna, I'm going to try to like leverage the elbow to try to break the arm.
Oh, okay. Very cool. All right, so this is a close combat. You grab onto this creature and attempt to wrestle it in an attempt to break its arm. Give me some roll.
So I got a 6 on the stress die and failed. Well, not failed, I guess. I did not get a 1. Nothing happened with the other ones.
Nice.
Okay. So that's a success.
Cham's going to make this alien say uncle.
Grapple your opponent. Both you and your opponent fall to the ground. It drops any weapons. It cannot move. The only thing it can try to do is break free.
All it can do is break its arm.
Yeah, let's say you do a bit of damage to it. Okay. Yeah, you damaged it.
Hooray! How do you like that?
You see its face contort in pain as you wrench its arm against the radio antenna, and it lurches at you again in an attempt to retaliate. So it's got to try and escape from you. Success. So it manages to wrench itself free, pulling its arm back away from you, and then it will attempt on its next turn, which is now, because it gets 2 turns.
Yes.
To strike you one more time. So same thing, I rolled another fist strike. So it attempts to slam you back away from itself. And that is another 2 points of damage.
Come on, girl. Ooh, I got a 6. So I'm at 1 health.
Oh, Cham is at 1 health. All right, it is your turn.
Okay. So I do still have the cutting torch on the other side of my hip. And I'm going to, once again, with his hand grappling me, I'm just going to cut it right at the wrist.
Nice.
Because he's grabbing me, so I'm just going to be like, nope.
Nice. So the plasma torch flares to life. Go ahead and make a close combat.
Okay. Whew, okay. I got a 1 on a stress die. I got a 6 on a stress die, and I got a 6 on my regular.
So 2 successes?
Yeah, 2 successes and 1 panic, yeah.
You deal 4 armor-piercing damage to it. Roll a power supply. Oh, no, sorry. On a stress, you are out of gas.
Oh, so that's it.
Your power supply is 0 because you just run out of ammunition. And let's see what else happens. Roll your panic. So roll a d6 and add your current stress level.
So I got a 2 plus 4, so 6 entirely.
Oh, you're managing to keep it together still.
I'm still twitching, though. Like, I got adrenaline pumping through me.
All right, and let's see this creature's turn. It's getting 2 in a row here. First action is a pounce. It leaps onto you like a huge monkey, attempting to wrap its legs around your body, striking at you with its arms. No successes.
Woo!
You are not knocked prone, you don't drop anything, and you don't make an immediate panic roll.
Great. All right.
Now my next turn.
Oh, yeah. Never mind.
This is just a horrible roar. It screams at you in fury, and it's so close to you now, its face just contorting in front of the glass of your space helmet. You must make an immediate panic roll.
Oh, I got a 6 again altogether.
Oh, you're doing okay.
Amazingly.
Can you finish this thing off this turn?
I assume the grappling hook is still connected to the antenna part, like that hasn't finished unhooking or anything.
Yes.
So what I'm going to try to do is just like wrap the cord around its face and neck area, considering that's the closest thing to me. Yeah, basically try to use the force of the thing and push off of it to try to choke him.
All right.
I don't even know if he breathes, to be honest, because I just cut his arm off.
Yeah, but he's got a neck, so might be a weak point.
It could be. Is it glowing?
You're currently clinging to the side of the ship, so maybe if this works, you can even just throw him off into space.
That's true. Close combat again, right?
Yeah.
2 1s on my stress die, 2 1s on my regular die, and 2 6s on a stress die and a regular die.
Sorry, how many total successes?
2.
Okay. And how many total stress or panic?
2.
Okay. So roll me your panic first.
7.
Nervous twitch. You gain a nervous twitch and your stress level goes up by 1.
What if I already have one?
Then you go up to trembling. You begin to tremble uncontrollably. All skill rolls using agility suffer a -2 until your panic is relieved.
Oh, man.
I did succeed.
You did succeed. With how many successes total?
2.
2. Okay, so, and you are using the wire. So we'll say you do 2 points of damage. This thing still struggles against you. This abomination grabs onto your helmet with its hand and begins to crush it with its fingers.
So freaky. I'm excited.
That is 3 successes. You have armor 2, right?
Yeah, so that even if I rolled it, 1 gets through.
If the attack causes damage, it automatically triggers critical injury number 64. You get a crushed skull.
Awesome.
Cham die.
Oh my God, no.
The skull, the helmet is just crushed into the head, and you just see skin and fluid squish out of like the cracks and all of that.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Cham just kind of floats there, hand rigor mortis to the hook.
Wow.
Is there anything special about that fluid?
I mean, it's light in color. I don't know. Is that special?
And the camera pans away from a strange white mist that flows out into the vacuum. And we'll rejoin Davis locking herself in a bathroom and Wilson attempting to negotiate with the crew of the Cronus next time. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Thanks for listening to Chariot of the Bobs. If you'd like to support the show, there are a few key ways to do that. Give us a rating on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your podcast app of choice. Find and follow us on social media at The House of Bob. Join our Discord and say hi. And you can also support us on Patreon. Supporters at the $5 tier get access to behind-the-scenes discussions and special one-shots, Supporters at $10 per month get our monthly RPG design blog. This year, 2023, we're writing a full mega dungeon themed around the tarot, a whole new, specially themed level every month that you can use for your home games. Artwork for this series is by Shaun Makes. Audio production and sound design is by Astronomic Audio. Music for this series is by Duke Albert. Roll on. Davis.
Wait, a strange white mist coming out of Cham, as in Cham's an android? Are we just gonna
a Cham
droid?
You didn't see that, so you don't know.
No, I didn't, but the audience.
Yeah, that is what we are.
The audience saw that.
Yes, that is what we are inferring.
Okay,
is that I was an android. Am an android.
Oh man, well, Cham was still the coolest, android or no.
Cham was the coolest. His head explodes as a vicious alien creature rips his way out of his skull.
There's your problem.
I think I've diagnosed the issue, Doctor. And I'm just double checking the actual rule for it because, of course, I forgot to do that earlier.
Wow.
I know, I'm the worst. Can't remember his name. I think he was kind of more nerdy like this. And we're going to go to Cham.
Oh, that's good.
Typical.
It seems like a good thing to roll all these die, but at the same time, it's not.
Yeah, you got a lot of extra chances for all sorts of stuff to happen. If the attack causes damage, it automatically triggers critical injury number 64.
Whoa. 64 critical injuries.
Did you send that to me?
I am going to look this up. Yeah. Where's my critical injury chart?
It's like a choose your own adventure. Turn to page 64 to see how terribly...
How horrible this is.
Yeah. How murdered you are.
Bum, bum, bum.
Bum, bum, bum.
Beep, boop, boop.